In this video, let's take a look at four metals I got back today from NGC, rated and slabbed. So we'll jump right in and take a look at them. I'm going to share these with you. They're pretty interesting metals. This is a metal I just recently bought on eBay from Estonia. It's 1884, 85. I think they call it the Industrial and Cotton Exposition. It's gilt 73.5 millimeters in diameter. Good looking metal, wouldn't you say? Looks really good. What's the other side look like? Other side's nice too. It's got a couple of little, sometimes you can see it and sometimes you can't. Gilt is a really funny thing. It's shows up sometimes or not, but overall you can tell it looks really nice. So what's the rating on a metal like this? And by the way, this is 140 years old. 140 years ago, somebody won a gold medal at the 1885 New Orleans Exposition, and they came away with this medal. It's gilt over bronze, and the way that works is they give them a bronze, and if the person who won the medal would like to, they can pay extra and get it gold plated or gilt plated, like this one. Can you imagine 140 years ago what this medal's been through? I mean, they had no, what, telephones, airplanes, electricity? This was designed by, or minted, I should say, by P.L. Kreider in Philadelphia and sent down to New Orleans in 1885 to be presented to somebody who won this medal. Wow. I guess had railroads back then. So they sit on the railroad, I guess. Anyway, that's what it looks like. What kind of grade we're going to get on this? We got a 61. A very good 61. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. It's a good looking medal. I'm really glad I got this slabbed. By the way, I should mention this is a 61. One thing I'm learning how to do now that I'm grading and slabbing is to read the census. And the NGC Census says there's two graded, 61, which I assume is this one, and a 63, so there's only two. It's very hard to find gilt in a very good condition. They just don't last. Anyway, happy to have this one. So next up is medal number two, and you can see it's a bronze medal. It's from the same exposition, 1884-85, New Orleans. Really good looking medal. Flip it over, you can see the medal. Looks very good. There we go. Okay, what's this going to grade at? 64. All right, 64. By the way, this is a very interesting thing. So this was made in Philadelphia, sent to New Orleans, given to somebody who won this award medal. And then a few years ago, I got a young man in Germany who sent me an email. He said his grandfather won this medal right here, and he wanted to sell it. He wanted to know how much it was worth. I told him I don't buy. I already had one, but I gave him some value range, and I sent him over to eBay, and he said, "Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you the medal, and you send me what you want to for it." I said, "Well, I'll look at it. If I could probably give you a wholesale price for it." He said, "That's fine." So he did. He mailed it to me, and I did. I paid him for it, and I felt bad about that because this is his relatives. And if this was your great grandfather's medal, wouldn't you want to keep it? Anyway, I looked at the census for NGC, and there has been 12 of these rated. The highest rated was 65. So this is 64. So I'm right there bumping against the top. Anyway, that's a very interesting side benefit of having the metals rated is looking at the census and seeing exactly how many of these metals are out there. It really helps me in my collecting. Glad to have this one. Okay, moving on to number three. You probably recognize this one. 1893, Chicago World Columbian Exposition. This is America's first World's Fair. It's one of the most popular expositions there was. This is a gilt, pretty large, 76 millimeters wide, about 3 inches wide. Very nice looking, as you can see. Flip it over. Really good looking metal here. What's this thing going to grade for? What do you think? Take a good look. And if you guess 65, you got it right. 65, MS 65. Now, I looked at the census and a very strange thing. It said no census. I guess it's not that many in great condition like this one. And so I went over to Stack's Bowers and I found one that was auctioned off for $4,560. That seems like a lot of money. It was PCGS rated, the other rating service, 66. This is exactly why I wanted to grade my metals. So glad to have it. Put it down. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, the next metal is number 4, the final metal I got in this batch. You can see it's gilt. It's in, I would say, perfect condition. This is wonderful condition. Did I say 1915 Panama Pacific Exposition? That was in San Francisco. There was one at the same time in San Diego. So flip it over. Medal of Award. There you go. Looks good. Looks great. Absolutely perfect to me. Can you get a perfect rating on something that's over 100 years old? I don't know. I don't know what the highest. I don't think there are very many of these metals, any of these metals, that are well over 100 years old, 120 to 140 years old. I mean, if you can get a 66, you really got something. A 65, I think that's about as high as they go. Anyway, what would you think? Look at this one. If you said a 66, you're right, a 66. And so I got a very, very pleasant surprise on this one. I looked at this census and there were 19 of these rated. 19. And guess what the highest rating was? The highest rating was 65. This is a 66. So this is what they call a top pop. That means, I guess, for a particular grading service, if you got the highest rated coin or metal, that's called a top pop. And I think for this particular one that's so popular, Panama Pacific, a lot of people collect these metals. It's a wonderful looking metal, design metal. Just to have the top pop 66 is amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. If you like this one, I'm going to link to the first unboxing. I had 10 of my best metals that was rated and slabbed, and I hope you'll take a look at that one. Please like my videos if you'd like to see more. Subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. I want to thank you for joining me, and if you'd like to know more about Exposition metals and the history behind them, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for joining me.